Alrighty, there is the disclosure that I have to show. And of course, make sure you just don't blindly follow what I do. Make sure you do your own research. Okay. So this is what we have for Monday morning. We've got quite a bit of stocks at 8 o'clock that came about. So we've got quite a few of them up over 10%. The best one that I've seen so far this morning is DWSN. That was right around it. It hit the scanner right around 7 o'clock, like a little bit before, but right at 7 o'clock it hit. As you can see, we had volume coming in. We had a slight pullback there, and you could have gotten in on the break of that pullback, that micro pullback, and then ran it up to at least $2.75, maybe $3, $4. I mean, the high of that was like $5. So then we had another micro pullback here. So if you missed this one, you had another micro pullback. And the thing is, the volume was coming in. The volume for that red candle was a little high. I like seeing it a little bit lower, but that's fine. Could have gotten in on this one as well on the break of that micro pullback at the low, and you would have gotten like $2.50. There's definitely some volume in there, so that's like 250,000 volume. Then on this one, 140,000, 175,000. So you definitely had volume coming in. So we've got quite a few stocks up 10%, and let's see. And I updated the news section here to only show for the current day. Here I'm going to start a recording so I can record a short couple-minute video and put it up on the content. Okay, so for this morning, we have quite a few trades coming in. We've got BTCS that hit the alert. Let's see what that looks like. BTCS and MTEK. That's nothing. MTEK. That's not much. That's just hitting. It's saying that the relative volume is high. But we have WSN. WSN has been the best trade. The volume started coming in right around 7 o'clock, and it hit the scanner. It definitely hit the scanner right up in here because of the past volume. The thing is about this is that there's no news that I can see, any relevant news of why it would be making it move. And we had a micro pullback right here. You could have gotten in on the break of that micro pullback right there. Get in on the break of that. Put your stop down here, which is about $1. And you got about a $3 move there. Now, if you missed that move, when it ran up, we had another micro pullback here. You could have gotten in on the break of that. Put your stop down there, which is about $1.80. Then you got a move of like $2.80. So it depends on how much you want to risk. I mean, 1,000 trades for every dollar, that's $1,000. If you only want to risk 100, is a 5-minute chart right here, and this is a 1 minute. We just kind of been grinding down. We had a nice top and tail right there, so it kind of gave the gains back. But there's no news right here, and the news section, I updated the code over the weekend, it's only going to show the 16th, which today's the 16th. So it's not going to show the most recent news, even if it's like on like last week or something. It's only going to show for today. And as you can see here, the 16th, and the date's the 16th. So these three are the only ones that really have news. And as far as the other ones, like STAK, that was moving a little bit. LSE, that moved a little bit. I just didn't like this. I saw this right here, but the problem is the volume right up in here. It just kind of, now it did break the VWAP and close above it, and you could have gotten in on that, maybe putting your stop down here for like $1.75, and you got like $2 out of that move. You have OP. Now OP has been trading, and the reason for it's been trading is Ocean Pow. So I'm thinking that's just because of what's going on in Israel and Iran. I think that's what's moving that. And then we have MARPS. MARPS was another one. I didn't quite like that because of the pullback here was quite large. It started down at the move of it with the volume coming in. Then we kind of consolidated, and then we broke up to a really nice move. And we have SATS. There's nothing there. Sage. SBET. Yeah, there's really nothing there either. So DWSN was really the only one that I really liked, and that's just because of the move. We have nice volume coming in. We had a micro pullback. The volume was a little bit higher than what I would like. I'd like to down here about half, but you can just get in, get yourself a nice move, and then get out. Or you could have gotten in on this micro pullback here and gotten yourself a couple dollars. So that is what's happening this morning. We've got quite a few that are above 10%. Now DWSN is up like 470%. So that's all I have so far this morning. Now, if you want to see the market live, I start streaming at 8 o'clock in the morning. This scanner is going to be released to the public here pretty soon. I just need to put together a website real quick, but the client version, the server and the client version I need to set up a remote server to put the server code on, and then I need to put together a website and then have a download link so people can start using this and start getting some pre-market gainers. Also, we have the top traded gainers here, biggest gainers, low float gainers, top press releases, and of course the trade alerts. So it's going to be released to the public pretty soon. There's definitely going to be a free trial so people can test it out and see what you think. I think I'm going to give out like a 14-day free trial. Then after that, I think it's only going to be like $25 a month. It's going to be really cheap compared to other scanners that are out there. It's just going to be really cheap. It's a proprietary scanner. It has the pre-built filters. So if you're new to scalping like pre-market or scalping the market in general, this is going to be really good for you. Stay tuned in the channel because I'm going to teach you how to use it, how to trade, how I trade. As you can see, really the only thing I have on here is the VWAP and of course volume, and that's it. But I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Okay, so the live stream is going to be on until 11 o'clock. DWSN just kind of has been fading out. We got a couple of new ones in here. MSW. There's nothing there. ANTA. Internet real quick. There we go. Upload should be good. So I think the move was around 7 o'clock. We had some news hit at 8 o'clock. That's why a whole bunch of them showed up. But we really don't. But we really don't have anything. PRTAs here. Sage Therapeutics stock soars 35% after sales. Okay. Sage is not really doing anything. Yeah, it showed up on the gappers. It's up like 40%. Ocean Pal's not really doing anything. LSC. Yeah, we had a pop there, a pullback, and it kind of popped again. As you can see here, we have a lot of wicks, a lot of topping tails. So it pops and gives it back. Pop, give it back. Right here, it popped, give it back. This is on a 5 minute. So that's an LSE. There's no news, so it's really nothing there. KWM, There's no news on that either. KWM. Yeah, so Sage has news, but just had a big pop. That was it. That's SUNE. Got some volume coming in there, but that's selling. Selling volume. If it goes positive, we have a pre-market relative volume above 5 times. Yeah, SUNE is up 15%, and SUNE has got news. Let's take a look at that. Sun Energy retains NASDAQ listing. Okay, so it retains its NASDAQ listing. Okay, big deal. Yeah. Has a float of 3 million. It's been traded past minute about 14,000 volume. MRX. Updates from clinical trial. First line pancreatic cancer patients. RX. Got some volume coming in on a 5 minute. The 1 minute looked like it was picking up. There's definitely some keywords in here like phase 2 and cancer. That's why it showed up. Phase 2 treatment for early stage Parkinson's. PRTA, but that's not moving. That's really not moving. PRTA is not moving. SUNE not moving. CRML. We had a slight pullback, and then we had some volume coming in. CRML. 15-year term loan from the U.S. federal government bank for the development of rare earth project. Okay. We got Sage. That just gapped up. Volume spike here and there. That's not much. We got OP. And KW, what was it? DWSN. DWSN fell off the scanner, and the reason for that is it's probably the 1 minute volume is just it just completely dried up, and that's why it's not showing up. Once the volume comes back into DWSN, it should show up. We have OP. Again, that's just because of what's going on over in the Middle East right now. But it kind of faded away. I mean, we had RBNE. It kind of gapped up Friday, and then of course it's selling off. So traders might be moving on to something else. CRML. There's nothing there. SGMT. So OP. KWM. Nothing. SATS is nothing. Archon is it had its run earlier. CRML, SPET, MSW. There's nothing there for MSW, VBIX. Nothing there either. SGMT, and nothing. The market's doing. And okay, so the market, the market's going up. So we only had a move on early morning. About 7 o'clock was the good trades. CODA just popped in. Got some news on that. Fiscal second quarter financial results. Yeah. If you look at the volume, it's extremely low. The relative volume is 2.6, but it's just low. Was that RITR? Yeah, there's nothing there. BEAT. BEAT, there's nothing there. DWSN showed back up. That's just because the volume is a little bit higher. But as you can see, we had a nice pop early morning. Early morning, we had a nice pop, had a nice run. You could have risked I think it was $1 on that micro pullback there. Yeah, risk about $1. And then if you got the pop, you made about $3. So that was a really good trade then. You also had another pullback right there. So the volume was definitely picking up, and you had a micro pullback. You could have gotten in on the break of that micro pullback there and put the stop at the low there, which is around $1.75, and you run up and you got yourself about $3. I think the high of it was $5, something like that. But you're not going to get the whole move. You're not going to buy here and then sell here. It's not going to happen. You're going to buy here and probably sell some of it here and then get the pop, sell some of it there. You're going to get about half the move. You're not going to get the whole move. Market's going to open up in about an hour. You know, YouTube is saying like the stream was buffering. Now it's saying excellent connection. So it's kind of going back and forth in my OBS Studio. I mean, it says 6,324 kilobits per second. So, I mean, it should be good. I'm getting some dropped frames. We got TMC that showed up. Got a little bit of volume in there. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, TMC's got some volume, but the problem is there's no news. So TMC showed up. We got about 56,000 volume in 1 minute. So it popped up. Let's take a look at it. Says it's a metals company, the metals company. Metals companies zinc will make strategic equity investment of an exchange of common shares. Yeah, there's no keyword. That's why it didn't show up right here. There's really no keyword. I don't think this is all. I mean, it's will make strategic investment. I mean, it's okay news, but it didn't show up here. There's really no keywords that I see that will make it move. That's why it didn't show up. Error loading data, error sending request for URL. Let me take a screenshot of that, and I will take a look into that later. The server and the client is running on my local machine. Sending request. No, it went away. I'm going to have to look into that. I'll look into that once the stream ends. TMC, there's no volume coming in here. We had some good volume here, and then it kind of sold off a little bit. Good volume in, kind of sold off a little bit. MSW, nothing there. IMRX, there's nothing there. Had news this morning at 8 o'clock. We have SRM that showed up on the RVOL, but that's selling, and don't think that'll be good unless you're shorting. IMRX, yeah, the RVOL showed up because of right here, but it's just not moving. SRM showed up. RVOL relative volume is definitely higher than previous, but there's nothing there. Look at DWSN, that's just kind of grinding sideways. It's not doing anything. SRM, we just looked at, that just has, I mean, what, $400? That's, yeah. That's a little strange. $400, and then it says SRM is price of $3. So did that just do a reverse split? So May. So there's something wacky going on there. You gotta be careful of these pump and dumps. I mean, these pump and dumps are just wacky sometimes. LSE, yeah, had a nice pop here. It kind of sold off. We had a few inside bars right there, right there, right there, but the volume was drying up, and then we had a nice pop. I mean, you could have played that with $1.50 risk and gotten like $2.50. We have GOVX, price of $1. That just GOVX, that just hit relative volume. Yeah, but there's not much coming in there. GVOX is right here, $1.15, up 11.5%. RVOL is 19. No news, so it's probably not going to get any traction. SURG showed up, no news. Yeah, it gapped up, but there's no news, nothing going on. DWSN was the best play this morning. We had two micro pullbacks that you could have gotten in and gotten some trades off. But that's the only one that I really see that was any good this morning, to be honest. I mean, we've got SRM. That was really nothing there. OP is just because what's going on in the Middle East, but that started like at 4 o'clock this morning. Yeah, so it started like at 4 o'clock this morning. I mean, 4 o'clock, I'm still sleeping. We had a run up. We had a pullback here. We had an inside bar. The volume was drying up a little bit. We had a run up, pull back there. I mean, yeah, you could have gotten in on the break of that, but in your stop down here about a quarter, it ran up to about, you could have gotten yourself a quarter, so that's like 1 to 1. But there's really nothing going on. LSE this morning. The one thing about LSE that I don't like, this is nice. We had this coming in, but I mean, the volume was picking up, closed above the VWAP, but there's really, I mean, the pullback there just looks kind of not good to me. Plus, the volume for the selling was higher than what the pop was. That's what I don't like about that one. In KWM, again, we had a pop and then major pullback, so that I did not like. So there's really not much. Only DWSN that was really there. Emma and Marks. Uh, Again, pop. And then we had a big drop. We had a pop. We had another big drop. So that's just something I just didn't like. DWSN was the best one, but the volume is really drying up now. That's why it dropped off the scanner. So, yeah. And then SATS, there's really SATS. There's nothing there. We got Sage. It just popped and then just grinding sideways. IMRX. We had news on that, but there's not moving. We have Neon, no news. It's not moving. CRML. I really don't see anything there. SBET. SBET, that shows up from time to time. There's really nothing there either. ABVE, nothing. MSW, nothing. So DWSN was the best trade this morning. That's because we had nice volume coming in, micro pullback, get on the break of that. I mean, the stop was a little high, but not. I mean, it was $1, but you made like 2, 3 times that. So you risk what you want. If you throw in 1,000 shares, you're only risking $1. You want to risk 100, just throw in 100 shares. I will be back in a few minutes. Alrighty, I'm back. SPY is still grinding. What kind of news? PRTA. PRTA. Partner Ocean Advance. Phase 3 development for early stage Parkinson's. That was PRTA. PRTA. That's nothing. It gapped up, but there's no volume. Traders aren't moving it. So DWSN still up there. Yeah, that's just grinding way down. Just grinding way down. It popped with really good trade this morning. And then it just going down, going down, going down. That's all I have. Yep. All right, we're going to wait until the market opens. I'll be right back. STAK popped up on the trade alert for the relative volume kicking up. Was STAK? Where's that at? STAK. Yeah, 6.8 RVol, but Looked like it tried to pop up, but yeah, don't think much is there. No news for STAK, but on TradingView, there was 1 hour ago, top pre-market gainers. Okay, yeah, who cares? Um, but it looks like it's giving it back. I mean, STAK popped up. The thing about STAK is, yeah, it popped up on the scanner right up in here. It popped up, but then it kind of gave it back. I mean, we had a pullback. It looked like pullback over like 50%. And then we just kind of popped up, grinded, and this pullback here. But the one thing I don't pull back, yeah, you could have gotten there at 652, got out at 727. But the thing about this is I don't like this topping tail right here. We had a nice high. That topping tail, this right here is called a topping tail. It's just kind of gave it back, and then kind of, I mean, you could have traded this, but then again, the volume's kind of drying up, which that's what you want for when the candles are going down. I mean, you're risking $1 and then making 50 cents, so it's just not there. Um, yeah, so there's really nothing there for STAK that I liked. BDMD, I think that's a new one. BDMD. Volume is definitely coming in, but it's not moving. More volume than before, but it's just not moving. And the volume's low. See, 1.7 thousand. It's just not moving. We got 9 o'clock, 30 minutes to market opens. Now on the trade alerts, I'm going to keep the trade alerts open, and there's something I worked on over the weekend. I took some of the blue chips from the SPX and NDX, from the S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100. I got quite a few stocks there. What I'm going to do, well, because some of the NASDAQ stocks are in the S&P 500, so we got like over 500 stocks. And what I'm looking for is a pullback, and it's going to pop up here on the trade alerts, because there are some people that like to trade blue chips. I mean, I even trade them. I mean, you're not going to get some of these crazy runs you are with these low floaters and stuff like this, like DWSN. You make $1, $2, and you make $1,000, $2,000 when you're doing 1,000 shares. But are you going to do that with Apple? No, unless you have the account to do it. I mean, I can throw in like a few hundred shares. So I wrote some code to get that going as well. And write down in the comment if you would like to see some scanners that you might want to see. Right now, I've got the pre-market gainers, I got top traded and biggest gainers. Now, these top traded and biggest gainers, the top traded is what's like the volume that's really coming in. And then the biggest gainers are just the ones that have the highest percentage. And the low floaters, I have that, but the low floaters not going to show up on the biggest gainers anymore because it kind of filtered that out. So if you want to choose the low floaters, you're going to have to choose them. But the biggest gainers are going to be ones that are a little bit higher than your low floats. I think I'm looking for over 20 million float. But yeah, if you're looking for other things, other scanners, just let me know what I'm looking for, to do, what I'm looking to do is create another scanner of like high of day with momentum, high of day with volume. So I'm going to think about that this afternoon when I go back to coding it. But write down in the comment what you would like to see. I don't see anything else. MSW, I think that was something we looked at. MSW, yeah, there's nothing there. But tell me what you would like as far as like a scanner. I think the next one I'm going to do is going to be like high of day with volume, something like that. And I mean, this is a proprietary scanner that I have that's going to be released to the public, and the filters I've already filtered it in, and the server is collecting all this data and running the logic for all that data, and then what's going to be running on your desktop, that just connects to the server and just grabs the data. So it's going to be a very small footprint in CPU footprint, memory footprint, because all this is written in Rust. So it's going to be pretty stable. It's going to be a small footprint for the client, which is the client's going to be running on your desktop, and it's just going to connect to the server and get the data. And it gets it like every 30 seconds or so. So yeah, it's going to be a really light footprint. And just write down in the comment what kind of scanner, give me some ideas for some like trade alerts, things like that. What I'm going to do for the pre-market is it's not going to show up after 9:30. The pre-market scanner is just, if you try to open it up, it's just going to be like, you know, it's during market hours. So got about 25 minutes. We'll see what happens. We have Bond that showed up. ZC. Okay, Bond has news. We've got Bond. Bond Natural Life announces distribution agreement with blah, blah, blah. Okay. ZCMD, there's nothing there. Bond. Oh, wow. See, this is what I'm not going to touch. In the 5 minute, I mean, yeah, we have run up, run down, run up, run down. So there's, yeah, I'm not going to touch that. And plus on the 5 minute, we've got a nice topping tail right there. And then on the 5 minute that is being done right now, we had a run up and it dipped down. So it's just, I'm not too sure about that. I mean, we could run up to $2, 220. We could run up all the way up to here, but I'm not seeing anything. In that news, it's okay. Bond Natural Life announces distribution agreement. The key word there that I searched for was agreement. Yeah, there's nothing there for Bond. DWSN. A little bit of volume starting to pick up, 43,000. I mean, it's trading way below the VWAP. up to the VWAP, but that's not a play that I'm going to be doing. And if you look at the volume, we had heavy volume there, sold off, and then it's just trickling down. The volume's just going down, so there's not much volume coming in to push it up. Now we could break this right here. We could break that and then go up here to around $7. But the volume would have to really start picking up. Okay, now DWSN, the volume's picking up. I mean, if you play that, you can play it on the break of that. I'm just not going to do that. And the reason I'm not is because I would like to see a break and then a pullback and it hold this area and then get like a micro pullback and then get in onto that pullback. Yeah, and as you can see here, we've got some selling coming in. It made a higher low right here, so we'll see what it can do. I'm not going to play it. It's already been played this morning right here. Micro pullback there. We had a pop. We had a pop on that. It hit the scanner up in here. We had a micro pullback. So once it broke that right there, you were good. Put the stop down here on the low of that pullback. It popped up. We had another micro pullback, 1 bar micro pullback. It did not trade below the low of that. Now, if it started trading below, like down in here, you might get another 2 bar pullback, but it didn't trade below that and it started trading in, and then the volume was there. So the break of that and then the stop down here, and then it ran up. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to play. You really only need to have one pattern in your playbook. Just pick one thing and get really good at it, and you can make money. You only need one good trade a day. We had volume picking up. We had a pullback here. The volume is lower than this bar, which is okay. But I'm just not playing it because we have consolidation right up in here. So I'm looking for the break of this and then move up and then a pullback. That's why you would not play the pullback here. Some people feel like, oh, we had a run up, we had a pullback, and you can get in the break of that. But that's no, because consolidation right up in here. Right up in here. I mean, yeah, it is grinding up, making a higher low, but that's not my play. And the volume's kind of, as you can see here, this is what you want to see is all this volume right up in here. That's how you want to play it. When there's good volume coming in, higher highs. It's just grunt. And then we had a pullback, people taking profits, and then we had more grind up, we had pullback. The volume was lower than the green bar, which is nice. Now you had a pullback here, and the volume was kind of drying up. So KLTO, we have an RVOL over 5x, KLTO, RVOL of 6.9. That's what you want to see, something like that. KLTO, and we have news. So what is the catalyst? Neuroscience raises over 11 million, retires all debt, and exceeds NASDAQ. Yeah, so that is good. That's what you want to see. Okay, so we just had KLTO hit the scanner. As you can see here, the volume is really picking up. It's just grinding up. What we're looking for is a micro pullback and then get on the break of the high of that micro pullback. If this thing keeps running, just let it go. There's a pretty good catalyst on KLTO. I mean, Neuroscience raises over 11 million, retires all debt, and exceeds NASDAQ stockholders' equity requirement. That's excellent. I think the key word I was looking for, exceeds. I think that is the key word. That's why it popped up on the news here, and it is today. So that's KLTO. In about 15 minutes, market's going to open up pretty soon. KLTO, you could probably put that on your list. So when the market opens up, you can take a look at it, see if it's going to. What did the news say on the latest updates? Yeah, 4 days ago. But we have the latest news here, which is on 6/16. That is today. And we have an error here. I'm going to take a screenshot of that and take a look at that later. Now, the thing about this is if it pulls back too much, like 50% of this move, and it has volume coming in, yeah, that's not good. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for micro pullbacks. Micro pullbacks. Slow micro pullbacks. We got a 5-minute topping tail on that too, so that's, yeah, it might be alright. I mean, the spread on this is like a couple cents. We got over 100,000 volume, so that's pretty good. We had good volume as it was coming in. We have SDA key with volume coming in. We've got a break of this. Can we hit the $5 mark? It's pushing. Can you hit $5? STAK, we've got volume coming in. The only bad thing is you have major selling volume coming in. So if you got in on the break of that right there, that's 37 cents, and you made yourself 20 cents. I would definitely be locking in the profits because it looks like it can't break the $5 mark. If we had the volume coming in, we broke the $5, that would be really good. You could probably run up here to 5.5. Market's going to open up in 10 minutes. The futures is up. And KLTO. Yeah, we had a pullback. That was a big red bar. We had a pullback inside bar. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's going to break the $2 mark. It could possibly break it. I mean, the selling volume is higher. If you look at 5 minutes, the selling volume is pretty high. So maybe the short sellers are pushing that down. As you can see here on the daily, as you can see here, we had a pop and it sold off. We had a pop and it sold off. So, I mean, that's, yeah. If we can break the $2 mark, that'll be good. You can probably run up to 2.5. But it's taking too much time to break that $2 mark. And if you look at the volume, it's kind of going down. I mean, we could break that and then really run up, but best thing to do is be looking at your level 2. Market's going to open up in about 5 minutes. Got 1 cent spread on KLTO, which is pretty nice. So we got 18, 14, 15. Okay. And 22. 15. Yeah, it can't break that $2. Market opens up in a few minutes. Yeah, I just went and touched KLTO. All right, market's going to open up in about 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Market opens. Looks like the futures is selling off a little bit. So we don't know what's going to happen. Friday we had a sell off. Looks like pre-market on the futures. We are just grinding up. We didn't go to the low of Friday or didn't break the high of Friday on the overnight. So we'll see what it brings. Also, I'm going to be looking to see if any trade alerts come in on the blue chips. Now, let me get the, because I have blue chips coming in. Let me take the pre-market scanner off. Let me get the biggest gainers and low floats. I'll get the biggest gainers and low floats. It's going to take a few minutes because the market needs to open up and then it needs to crunch the data. Market is open. It's going to take a minute or two for this to come in. So we have this is the biggest gainers. And we have the low floats over here. This is going to update. Let me see. Futures is going up. Let's see if we can break the highs. Futures is definitely grinding up. We got the biggest gainers on low float should be updating here pretty soon. There we go. Biggest gainers updated to FLX. CRCL. CRCL circle is 150-hour stock. That is a IPO, I think, from last week. We have EU. We have Circle with some news for today. Circle versus Chime, which is the better fintech IPO stock. Yeah, who cares? We got the low floaters here. We have 300% on SRM. DWSN didn't show up because it's just giving back its gains from 7 o'clock. But we have some news on SRM, BATL, and OP. So those are the news for that. BATL, 100% Israel, right? Yeah. So I'm just waiting for the market to settle down. Give it about 5-10 minutes to settle down. I mean, we got SRM. Look at that. That's just going crazy. We got STAK below the VWAP. Wouldn't touch that. BATL. wouldn't touch that. We got OP, MRPS. Yeah, BRN just showed up. ATHR. What's ATHR? That's nothing. PHOE. BRN. BRN, there's not much volume coming in, and it looked like it made its run earlier. We got the biggest gainers right here. DWSN, the reason it showed up on biggest gainers and not the low floats, because it's not considered a low float for me. It's over 30 million, so that's why it showed up on the biggest gainers here. But DWSN is giving back its gains from the morning. As you can see here, it's giving back its gains. I mean, this would have been a nice short. I mean, look at the 5 minute. We had a topping tail right here. We had a topping tail right here. It closed below the VWAP, and now it's just grinding down. That would have been a good short in the early morning. Futures is holding. We're still up on the futures. I'm looking for the trade alerts windows because I've added the S&P and the NASDAQ blue chips on here, the large caps. I added them, looking for a pullback on them. The pullback has to be like a lower highs, lower lows, and then the current candle cannot trade below the previous candle. I think it's on a 3 minute, but that's what I'm looking for, because some people trade like trading the large caps, and I do as well sometimes from time to time if a good setup is showing. So we have the low floats. We have quite a bit of low floats above 10%. We only have 3 of them with news though. NASDAQ futures is pulling back a little bit. These are the biggest gainers. Top 4: TMC, SAGE, SATS, DWSN. DWSN I just wouldn't touch. SATS, that's holding. We got Sage, TMC. TMC, if you were looking at that, that was a really good one. TMC, we had a run up, we had a micro pullback, and we had a nice run. We had a micro pullback, and as you can see here, we didn't trade below that. You kind of gotten in on the break of that right there. Put your stop down here to about 10 cents, and you ran up, you made about, and you got yourself 10 cents. Now, with this run here, if you got 10 cents on this, I mean, if you're getting in on a couple thousand shares, make yourself a couple $100, that you would have sold half and moved yourself to break even, and then you probably could have gotten stopped out on a break even. But TMC was a quick scalp. And we do have news on TMC. It's 186 million float. It's pretty high. Announces street investment, Korea, a world leader in non-ferrous metals by the advanced development of. Okay, so TMC was a good one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes what I do is I will put 4 charts up on the top 4, and then look for quick scalps on those. TMC, you could have gotten 10 cents out of that. And on the 5-minute, as you can see here, it's starting to pull back, but the volume had a little topping tail on the beginning of the 5-minute. The problem with this one here is we had a nice run up and the volume was increasing. Then the third candle, the volume wasn't there. This right here, this candle had large volume, and then this one here had lower volume. So that would definitely be kind of sketchy, but you did get a break and got 10 cents on that for a quick scalp. I just wouldn't touch this because we're not grinding up. We could be consolidating and put in a bull flag, larger bull flag on like a 5-minute higher time frame. I just wouldn't touch it. The first trade was good, 10 cents, didn't move that much, so just wouldn't touch it. Futures is moving up. SBET is grinding up. EU again, we had a micro pullback on that, but there's not much volume in there. But you had a pop on that. RGC, that's nothing there. Let's look at SRM. SRM, that had news, but it's not good. This one, again, BATL, it's trading below the VWAP. As you can see here, it showed up on the trade alerts. So we had BATL show up on the trade alerts. As you can see here, we had a run up. This was a good one. We had a run up, and then we had a pullback. We had an inside bar. It showed up on the trade alerts. Now it went off. But you get in on the break of this bar right here. You put your stop down here. That's like a quarter. And it ran up, and you got yourself, so far, you could have gotten yourself 20 cents. So what you can do, the volume's coming in, so, and it's below the VWAP, so it's a little sketchy, but you could have gotten yourself like 20 cents, sold half, moved to a break even and see what happens, or you can just sell all and get out of it. Now the volume here, we definitely have volume. If you look at the 5-minute, we got 120,000 volume. That's a trading view volume, so, but I'm getting my data through SIP, so, BATL, as you can see here, it's $3 stock. It's up, I would say up 100%. The float's like 14 million, 256,000 volume coming in on a 5-minute, which is good. And we got a catalyst, which is news. We got these 3 stocks are up 150%. Israel-Iran war triggers massive buy-in. Yeah. So I wouldn't say massive buy-in, but it is moving. But you got yourself a break on this bar right here. We had a run up. We had the volume drying up for the pullback, which is good. Get in on the break of that. You could have gotten yourself 30 cents, but right here on this bar, you got like 20 cents. Since it's not moving up anymore and it's pulling back, you just get out. Don't hold it. Don't try to go for, oh, I want to get in here on the break of this and then run it to the VWAP and try to get like $4 or something. Don't do that. Get in and out. You can always get back in. You can always get back in. But take quick profits, build yourself up a little bit, get yourself $100 or $1,000 buffer in the morning, and then start trading. Then you can try to go for a runner if you want. But definitely, if it pops up, sell some of it, book some profits, move to a break even. And then right here, if you moved to a break even, you would have gotten stopped out. But you took some profits up here. If you get on the break of this and you're looking for $4 or you want a dollar profit, well, guess what's happening? It's pulling back. Right now, you're underwater if you held this. And now you're telling yourself, oh, I should have taken profits here. With this pullback, we don't know. This pullback could just come all back down. And this is what I don't like on the 5-minute. You had a topping tail right here. You got a 5-minute producing a topping tail right here. That's what I just don't like that. This right here, we had to run up and we had to pull back. That's why this is a quick scalp for 10 cents. And that's what you have to do with scalping. You have to just get in and out. Get in on the break of that. Put your stop down here to about a quarter. You got up. You got yourself 20 cents. Sell half. Move their break even or sell all. I mean, you have to look at the level too and see what's coming in. If you see sellers coming in like this with high volume, you got to get out. I mean, you just have to. I mean, did you get a 1-to-1? Let's say you're risking a quarter and you got 20 cents. No, you didn't get a 1-to-1, but who cares? You made some money. You made 20 cents. On 1,000 shares, that's $200. You get out. Everybody's stuck on this. Oh, I got to make 1-to-1. Got to make 2-to-1. Got to make 3-to-1. No. You trade what the market is telling you and what the market is going to give you. That is what you trade. All these gurus saying, oh, trade my plan. You get 2-to-1, 3-to-1. Yeah. Okay. Well, with me, I'm just going to scalp and just make a few cents. So we have the low float gainers are coming in. We have some news on a couple of them. SRM is really not moving. I mean, we had a huge topping tail in here on a 5-minute. I just wouldn't touch that. Plus, there's something up with this. This is $400, but SRM is $5. Is that a reverse split? I don't even know what's going on. The data that I'm getting is a little wonky on that, so I wouldn't even touch that. RGC, I wouldn't touch that. BATL, well, we had some nice volume coming in here. It showed up on the trade alerts. We had some nice volume showed up on the trade alerts when we were pulling back. That's good. Get yourself a pop. That's a small trade. TMD, well, we just updated. OP, we had some volume, but then again, look at this. This is a pullback, but major volume coming in. Wouldn't touch that. Yeah, we had an inside bar right here, but in the volume's drying up. You could trade it if you want. I just wouldn't trade that just because you're risking like 7 cents and you made like 7 cents. Yeah, you could do that. You got some volume in there, but again, the 5 minutes not looking good. It's trading below the VWAP. If you're going to be trading below the VWAP, get quick scalps and move to break even. Get a quick scalp, sell half, move to a break even. We got TMDE. TMDE, what's the news on that? These three stocks up. Yeah, we already looked at that. OP. Yeah. So, yeah, we had a run up here. We have an inside bar. It's not breaking. It's not making new highs. The volume's drying up. Wouldn't touch that. So that's what you have to look for. So the trade was BATL. And it showed up on the trade alerts. You got to be quick with that. BATL, quick. Get your quick scalp. Get in, get out. So that's all I have for now. SATS, if you were looking at that, there was no catalyst, no news on that, but it ran up and we had a pullback. The volume is not ideal. And plus it's a 25-hour stock, 24. That's a quarter. You make yourself a quarter, but there's just nothing there. Plus the 5 minutes not looking good. I mean, if you got in like right here, you're looking at a 5 minute that was pulling back, red right here. Just wouldn't get in. That's why on these low floats, you can take like the top 4 or top 6, get yourself like a grid and put like 4 of them up here or 6 of them and take a look at them. And then when they're setting up, you can get in. Futures is running up. Let's see what the Q's is doing. Yeah, so we had a nice trade on the SPY too. That broke, and that's running up. I mean, $600 ETF, but hey, some people do trade it. We got the futures. I'm looking at it. I was making new highs. The thing is, if we can break on the NQ, if we could break above on 611, I think it was 22107. But Friday, we haven't broken the highs of Friday yet. Alrighty. So the NQ futures is kind of stalling out a little bit. If we can get some volume coming in, we could probably break the high. Good thing on the NQ futures, we didn't trade below Friday's low. We're definitely running up. Yeah, it looks like we're going to probably try and break the high. There we go. There we go. We're going to break the high of Friday. Yeah. Now that we broke it, we're going to pull back. Nothing goes straight up or straight down. RGC broke over the VWAP, BATL. BATL, you had a trade here, and that's it. Now it's pulling back. I just leave it alone. And like I said, we had a run up, topping tail right up in here. It had some wicks. I do not like those. So when we're running up here, we're running up, and then now we're just selling off. So that was the small trade right there, is getting yourself like 10 cents and getting out. Now TMDE, there's not much there. STAK, nothing there. We got OP. We had a run up, but then we had some large volume coming in. Do not like that. We had an inside bar right here, but we had major volume, so I really don't like that. And if you look at that, you're on that 5-minute candle, and if you look at that, we had a wick right there. So if you're going to play that move, and you're going to play this inside bar and the break of it on a pullback, you get in here, your stop is down here about 10 cents, and you make stuff about 5 cents. That's about maybe 10 cents. That's it. But as you can see here, it's dumping. It's below the VWAP. So the session VWAP, it's below it. So yeah. We have LSE, but there's no news on that. No catalyst. Neon is up 30%. Again, we had too much of a pullback. It gave back more than 50% of the move up. Not good. It's a $22 stock. We have DWSN, that was a 200% gainer. We have SATS, Sage, SBET, the thing about that is we had a nice run up. We had a large candle right there with the volume right there. You had an inside bar. You could have played that break, but the problem with that is if you look at that bar, look at the volume, there's nothing there. Yeah, you would have made money risking 20. You make 20. But then again, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, where's the volume? I don't see it. And then it broke. And then this right here, we don't have much volume. As you can see here, we're not breaking the $12, and we kind of sold off. And you got this run up here. It did not make a higher high. You had a 1-bar pullback, micro pullback. But then again, if you're going to play that, you're risking like 15 cents and you're going to make 20. Yeah. But quick scalps are good for it. That's about it. But then again, if you look at that pullback, look at that. The volume is higher than these green bars that are moving up. So I just don't like that. And look what we did. We didn't break the $12 mark. Oh, actually, I think we got right to it, and then we just sold off. Yeah, the futures is holding up. We're starting to look a little bit weak on the S&P and the NASDAQ could get a slight pullback. TMDE, micro pullback, TMDE. Yeah, there's nothing there. Just because it shows up doesn't mean it's a trade. We had a run up, we got a pullback. This is Trade Alerts is doing it for a 3-bar pullback. I might update that for a 2-bar pullback as well. But there's nothing there. I mean, if you look at this, we had a run up, kind of rain down. We're making, yeah, so that's a high or low. There's nothing there. The volume, there's nothing there. You really want the volume to be really good. As you can see, we're kind of breaking it down. And as you can see here, yeah. And for the Qs as well. So for about 1 more hour, I'm going to be streaming, and then I'm going to shut it down and go back to coding. Try to fix that error that we were seeing. That's definitely nothing there. Yeah, it showed up. You got a pullback. That is correct. But I don't know about you, but when you look at that chart, no. That's a no. TMDE, we got, yeah, I mean, could it run and could it break this? Sure. Could it break this and run all the way up to the VWAP? Yeah. But I just don't, the volume is not there. The volume is there picking up. But, yeah, it's below the VWAP. If you look at the 5-minute, the volume is not there. You got more selling volume than anything. So you want your A setups. If you want one good trade a day, you really got to be patient. And we did get one with BATL. We had a nice run up. We had a pullback. Get on the break of that. You get that maybe 10 cents real quick. 30, 50, maybe 20 cents. You know, that's what you're looking for. So if you made this trade and it pulled back and then you got on the inside bar and you got a break of that, yeah, that's a nice trade. Move on for today. So the futures, the NQ futures, On the 1 minute, we're pulling back. I'm looking at a 15 minute. It looks like we're putting in a topping tail in a 15 minute. We could have a shooting star candle coming in. So we could get a pullback. We're still above the VWAP on the NQ futures. So we could get a pullback and then try to run up more. I wrote some code for the S&P 500 and NASDAQ, the blue chips, the large caps, looking for pullbacks on them, but nothing has showed up so far on the trade alerts. So, I mean, you got a little over 500 stocks in there. So you just don't know. Yeah. Here, let's go back over to SPY. So, and we've got looking. I'm on my other trading platform. There it is. Yeah, on the futures, on NQ futures, on the 15 minute, we had some good volume, but then it's kind of drying up now. I'm looking at 1 minute on the futures. It's you got more selling volume in the past few minutes, like the past 10 minutes. We got some volume coming in. Are we going to break or are we going to pull back? On the daily, got a bullish engulfing on the daily on the NQ futures from the Fridays. come on. RJC moved up on the low floaters as top one. 245%. That's pretty good. And you can play the same thing if you're trading the ETFs. You can do the same thing on this. You can do. We had a nice run up. We had a micro pullback. We had a break of that. We had a run up. We had an inside bar right there. Get a break of that. I mean, you can trade that as if you got the account to do it, or you can go to the futures and do the same thing. There we go. Yeah, we're just consolidating right now, but on the daily on NQs, you're looking at a bullish engulfing on the NQ futures from Friday. We definitely got some buying volume on the 15-minute on NQ futures, but it looks like we're kind of topping out. Volume is kind of getting low now. We might have a pullback, and then we could run back up more. Nothing goes straight up or straight down. DWSN change 172%, but that's pulling back. That was early morning, like 7 o'clock play, DWSN. But as you can see now, it's just pulling back. I mean, look at it daily. We had a nice run, and it just pulled back. It's just giving it back now. And we look early morning that we had a nice run, micro pullback pop, but now it's just giving it back. And you got SATS. There's really nothing there either. Sage, nothing. SBET, not much. TMC, ILPT, no news on that. URGN, yeah. RGC. Now for the low floaters, RGC, we got, you got some gaps on there. It's probably, yeah, that's $45 stock. RGC, I don't know what's going on with that. SRM, TMDE, BATL, was just one trade on that. ST8K, that's giving it back. OP, giving it back. LSE, giving it back. ZDGE, nothing there. ARQQ, was it ARQQ? Yeah, that was a pretty decent one, but the spread on that's way too much. So I wouldn't even touch that. Neon. Yeah. DFDV. There's nothing there. Yeah, it's 10:20. I'll be streaming for about another 40 minutes. We're breaking. Are we breaking up on the NQs? Breaking highs? NQ futures? Volume's drying up, so we could have a pullback here. And if you look at the Qs, I'm looking at the futures, but here on TradingView, what you see is the ETF. And also, you could trade the TQQQs. That's a triple. I mean, you can trade that too. That's a little bit more manageable for like, $75 compared to what, 600, now 500. Yeah. Or if you trade in the futures, if you trade in the futures, it's manageable. With the futures, if you get a good broker with a good intraday margin, which most of them do have, we're looking making new highs on NQ futures. Oh, what's wrong, baby? Come on. What's wrong? All right, I'm back. Had to deal with a kid issue thing. Mom's trying to make the kid learn, and the kid came in my office and was like tapping on the door, like ting, ting, tap, 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 tap. She knows not to disturb me, but I had to go out there and be like, hey, you got to learn. You got to make it fun. Oh, SONM. Is that a new one? Yeah, it kind of looks like it. 6 million volume. Wow. Technologies confirms receipt of non-binding unsolicited. Oh, I don't know what that means. But let's take a look at SONM. It has huge volume. Huge volume. At least that's what it says on a 5-minute. But we don't know. Yeah, I mean, it looks okay. The move was in the morning. The move was definitely in the morning. Yeah, nice run up there, pull back, but it kind of broke the low of that, so that was not good. But then it broke the high of that and it kind of ran up. So NM, yeah. Also, if you guys want me to stream the futures, I can do that for a couple of days. I can stream the futures, and we can try to get some trades in on that as well. Just let me know in the comments. I mean, we can trade the pre-market. We can trade the pre-market, and then we can go to the futures at 9:30 and trade the futures. Yeah, SONM pulling back. SATS. Yeah. SBET's moving up. We got to pull back on that. The volume's kind of drying up, but we'll see what that can do. If you were looking at that, that's like a 4-bar pullback. That pullback's higher, but still you can get in on the pullback because it's definitely moving up. You can get on the break of that. You risk about a quarter. You're already up like over 10 cents, 10 cents. I mean, the spread's a 1 cent spread, so you could have gotten in on the break of that. You got 10 cents. You could sell half and then move to a break even. Because as you can see here, we moved up and then we pulled back. The one thing I don't like is that we pulled back like 50% of the move up. But on the 5-minute, it looks good because we had to pull up right here on SBET. And if you're trading on a 5-minute, you can get on the break of that, put the stop down there on the low of that red candle, risk about 30 cents, and you've already got like 15. So you can move to a break even. Are we going to break 13? Are we going to break SBET? We're going to break 13. There's no catalyst, no news. We broke it. The high there, we're running up. We got the volume coming in. As you can see, volume's coming in. What does that say? That was 2 days ago. So we got the volume coming in, so definitely lock it in, lock it in. Don't let a winner turn into a loser. SBET is up 38%. We got a float of around 60 million. It's trading 142,000 shares past few minutes. Yeah, so if you got in SBET, I would definitely lock in some profits there. You could lock in some profits and move your stop down to here. it pulled back. You got in, if you got in right here, it ran up, take some profits. It looks like it's breaking 13. There we go. So so if you sold some at the 13, that's good. And if you held some, that's good. Got 13 and a half, 1360s now. Okay. SBET was a good trade. About 30 more minutes. I'm going to be streaming, then I'm going to go into working on the scanner a little bit more. We didn't have any of our blue chip trade alerts show up that I know of. Yeah, SBET's pulling back. Definitely lock in profits. On a 5 minute chart, you had that run up and you had a micro, 1 bar micro pullback on a 5 minute, then it broke, and then we had a nice run. I mean, it broke the 12 half, that's why it ran. We broke the 13, got to 13 half. Hmm. So I think that trade on SBET is over. Let's go on back to the SPY. I think I'm going to update trade alert on that 2-bar pullback. Because the 3-bar one's working, I'm going to do the 2-bar trade alert. Table. I mean, we are scanning. Let me see. For the markets, for the low floats, we are scanning quite a bit of them. 2,600, a little over 2,600. If you're hearing that sound, it's just me scalping the futures. Just made a few points on NQ futures. Shorten it real quick. I mean, we're pretty extended off the VWAP. Now, let me look. Let me put an anchor on the open. The yellow line is the session VWAP. The blue line is the New York Open. So we had a pullback here. And even if we look at the Qs, we had a pullback on the Qs right there. So in the NQ futures, I just scalped a few points off of that. That's all. Because we're pretty extended off the VWAP. But as you can see, the SPY pulled back. We could break this up a little bit more. We could break up into here. Move like 25 cents. So Thursday highs, it looks like on the NQ futures, Thursday highs, we're breaking that. No, got right to it, pulled back. If we look at a 15-minute chart, it looks like we are kind of rolling over. We had a nice run up and we could be rolling over. So if you got any longs, I'd be a little careful. We could roll over. As you can see here, we kind of ran up, but the volume is kind of drying up as we're running up. That's probably why we're getting a pullback. I mean, we could break this and come down to the VWAP, but you just don't know. They could fake you out and they could run it up. But more than likely, it's going to pull back, at least down here to like 604. Not 604, down to 603. That's just a thesis. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. ILPT showed up. That's nothing. I mean, yeah, 15 minutes. We had some nice volume. CRCL, that's a new IPO. INOD. SBET. That was a pullback. We had a trade on that. Yeah, I'm not going to be trading anymore just because it's like 10:43 and 11 o'clock. I shut it down. Make your money in the morning and move on. I mean, we're scanning like 2,600 stocks that are not large cap stocks, not the blue chips. So we definitely can get some trades in. And it takes my local machine. Once I get this up on the server, it's going to be really pretty quick. But on my local machine, it usually takes about 30 seconds to scan and run the logic for like 2,600, a little over 2,600 stocks for us to get some trades. So once I put it up on the server, it should be running faster. Of course, that's not going to run on your local. The desktop client right here, this is the desktop client. So this right here is what's going to be running on, once you download it, once I release it to the public, you can have this run on your local. And what it does just connects to the server and gets the data. So the server does all the work and not your local machine. We've got top press releases here. Tiva. Got Tiva and Bond. Let's take a look at them. We got Tiva and Bond. What is Tiva? Tiva's not doing anything. Bond, not doing anything. MFI, that's not anything. TSSI, no. So let's just run through the low floaters, the top ones. RGC, no. SRM, I don't know what's up with that. FT8K, nothing. OP, nothing. LSE, that was nothing. BATL, we had a trade on. That was earlier right there. ZDGE, that's really nothing, kind of dried up. MI5 we just looked at. And then we got Neon. Neon, there really wasn't anything there. We had a pullback in the morning around 9:30 once it ran up, but it was too much of a pullback for me. ARQQ. ARQQ's, I mean, that's a $27 stock, ARQQ, but it's 6 million float. The thing about that is we had a run up here, and the volume was kind of picking up, and that had really big volume. We had like a pullback here, which was kind of low, which you could have gotten in on the break of the high of there, and then ran that up for like 80 cents. But is the volume there? It doesn't look like it's too much. Yeah. We got SRM. SRM, I don't know what's up with SRM. That is just something crazy. It's saying it's $400, but here it's like $5. I don't know what's going on with the data that I'm getting. I don't know what's up with that. That's a little crazy. I don't know if it's a reverse split or what's going on. I mean, a reverse split from 400 to 5 is crazy. So in the 15-minute on the SPY, we ran up, and then it looks like we're putting a doji on the 15-minute up here, and then we could be retracing back. So if we break the low of that, we could come back to the VWAP. Let's see what old Tesla's doing. Tesla's a little crazy. We got Apple. I wrote the code to get some trade alerts for some of these blue chips. I don't know if it's working. The criteria I put in for the filters are pretty strict. If I don't get any trades in the next couple of days, I'm going to have to look at the code and see if there's anything that messed up. I wonder what Exxon is doing. U.S. Steel. That's nothing. Bank of America. That's nothing. Citigroup. Meta. Yeah. What's old Google doing? I'm thinking this should have, we had a pullback here, 3-bar pullback, higher lows, lower lows, and then we had a, that maybe should have shown up on the trade alerts. I mean, you're risking 12 cents and you made like 20 cents. It's $175 stock. So then, I mean, you have to get in like 500 shares to make yourself like $100. But if you're trading blue chips, I mean, you can make a little bit of money. And also, this right here had the pullback. That should have shown up on the scanner as well, because you could have gotten in a break of that, put your stop down there for about 10 cents and let that run up for like 40 cents. Yeah. So up to the highs, about 35 cents. So, I mean, 500 shares on 35 cents would net you $175. If you got that type of account, I mean, I'm trading uh, where I can do that, but it didn't show up. So I'm going to have to review the code on that, why that's not showing up for the blue chips. Yeah. I'm going to be streaming in about 10 more minutes, and I'm going to look into that because we could have made some money if you've got a large account like that. If you're trading with like 25,000, you got margin account. If you're trading on margin account at 25,000 times 4, I mean, you're looking at 100,000. You can make yourself a couple $100 on this today from Google. Yeah, I got to look into that. I'll do that after lunch. Look at the TQQQ. So as you can see here, on the 15-minute, we've ran up and put in a doji, and we're kind of looks like we could roll over because the volume's drying up. The reason the volume's drying up is because we're getting closer to lunch. People just aren't trading. That's the problem. Now that I'm thinking about this, the reason that didn't show up is the reason that Google didn't show up is because I'm not executing the search on that. It's not running through the list of all the S&P 500 Nasdaq S&P 500 Nasdaq 100. So I wrote the logic, but the server needs to be executed to run that logic, and I didn't put that in there. I think that's why it's not showing up. Because we could have had this move. The logic I put in is looking for a 3-bar pullback, and if the current candle is not trading below this right here, the last pullback, it's going to show up, and we could have. This was a perfect one right here, right down to the VWAP, and we could have gotten in, risk about 10 cents, and made like a quarter, like 20 cents. Then in this one here, which was a good one, we had a run up, we had a pullback. That again was making lower lows, higher lows. Could have gotten a break in on that, put the stop down there for about 10 cents, and ran that thing up to about 35 cents. I mean, that would have been a good one. And the spread on Google is like 3 cents. So, I mean, you make yourself a quarter. I mean, you make yourself 30 cents. I mean, you give 3 cents. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're doing market orders, I mean, if you're doing that just so you can get in, make sure you get in. I mean, the reason it's not showing up is because I didn't put it in, the server's not executing the logic that I wrote, and that's why it's not showing up on the trade alerts. Because I have it here, like on the biggest gainers and the low floats. Like, as you can see here, last updated 10 seconds ago, last updated 10 seconds ago, last updated 10 seconds ago. Uh, the logic that I run for like biggest gainers, low floats, and all the other ones, the alerts, they get kicked off, and the server runs the logic, and then the results of the logic, it gets cached into the memory until like maybe 30 seconds later it'll get updated from the server, and then what your desktop client is doing is just connecting to it and just getting it from the memory and then showing it up on your desktop. So that way the logic only has to run once, and you could have like 1,000 people using this scanner, and it's just going to be shown up instantly for you. And my server runs the logic, and it pushes it to the cache and the memory. And yeah. But the reason it's not showing up is I did not put the line of code in there to execute the logic for the blue chips. So I need to update that, and we will be back tomorrow. Maybe we'll get some trades on some blue chips. We missed it on Google today, but maybe we'll get one later. You win some, you lose some. If you miss a trade, who cares? Because tomorrow is another day. The market's always here. Well, except for on weekends and holidays. But other than that, the market's there for you to make money. And the scanner that I'm writing is to help you find those trades. Your responsibility to do your trading plan. I can show you how I like to trade, which you can pick one trading plan, look for a micro pullback and a break of that, and you know what your stop is, and the target like could be the start of the pullback. So you get in there, your stop is the low of there, let's say it's 10 cents. Your target could be up here, which is like 17 cents, let's say 20 cents, or even let's say 15 cents. Hey, that's good. Sell half, move to break even, and let's see if it can run up to here, which it did, which would be about 30 cents. You know, that's good. That's how I like to play. I like to play the pullbacks, and then as long as it doesn't, like here, we got a pullback, we got a, and you get in on the break of that candle there, the high of that candle, and then your stop is down there at the low of that candle or below the VWAP, let's say 15 cents, and then it ran up. It started right here, so you got yourself like a quarter. You could sell half and see if we can move up here. You could sell half, take some profits, and then as you can see, it starts retracing back, so you can get all out, or you can go all the way to sell half, move to break even, see if it run. It came back. It stopped you out on the break even, but you took some profits right up here. And that's the thing. You have to take profits, lock it in. Don't let a winner turn into a loser. Don't be like, I have got to make a 1-to-1, or I got to make a 2-to-1, or a 3-to-1. No, you take what the market gives you. If you get into a trade, and then all of a sudden it gets to like halfway to your profit, and you're like, I'm just going to move to break even. And let's say it stops out. Who cares? And then let's say it stops you out and then shoots up and hits your target and you're out. Who cares? Move on to the next trade. Do not let it screw with your head. So it's 11 o'clock. I think I'm done for the day. I need to update the logic here to make sure it runs the code is ran. The server runs the logic to get to scan the blue chips, all the S&P 500 and the NAS 100, so we can get some trades for some blue chips and get some trades on some low floaters. So I will be back at it tomorrow, and I will talk to you later. Bye.